What's up, guys? Chris Caravello back to reality. We've been out of boot camp for about a week, exactly a week now.
Yeah.
So just wanted to do a debrief video. Obviously, there's a ton of stuff out on the internet and YouTube about what boot camp was like during COVID-19 pandemic. We're going to have a little different approach for this one. Both me and Parker had leadership roles during boot camp, came in a little older, so we're just going to try and give you guys a different perspective on things and you know, maybe answer some questions that don't usually get addressed in these kind of follow-up videos. So first off, like I said, we both held leadership roles, and we both ended up being honor grads, and we're both, you know, ex-college athletes, so we had, you know, a little more, I think we're a little more prepared coming into boot camp to handle the physical side of things. So yeah, so the funny thing about it is neither of us held leadership roles right from the beginning. So you ended up being RPOC, which is Recruit Chief Petty Officer, the leader, you know, so to speak, of our band of recruits. And I ended up being a yeoman as well as a stick, you know, and like I said, we were voluntold kind of to try out for these roles. So Parker, what did you think when you were asked? Were you asked to be RPOC, or did they straight up tell you?
Yeah, so at first, I mean, I was, the whole compartment was kind of in disarray for the first like week and a half, switching RPOCs and yeoman and just kind of crazy. And at first, I volunteered to be AROC, which is, their role is just pretty much march, you know?
Keeping cadence.
The heart of the division while we march. And I like to sing, so I wanted to be AROC. But then I ran a good PFA.
I think that was the selling point.
Kind of performed. And as we were leaving, we were lining up to leave, and my chief was like, "Scott, put the cutlass on, lead us home."
Yeah, it's kind of 30 winning.
Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't something I kind of, maybe subconsciously I wanted the RPOC role, but it wasn't something that I pursued directly, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, after getting it, I took it seriously, you know. I sat down with the yeoman at the time, and I would go through debriefs at the end of the day with my chief on things that we could work on, things that we did well. So yeah, it was cool. It was definitely unique, you know, and it completely changed my perspective. Kind of coasting through the first 2 weeks, and then having to like schedule things and have direct communication with like the RDCs and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Any slip up the division had, it was on you.
Oh yeah.
They were like, RPOC, why is your division late? RPOC, why did your division mess this up?
Yeah, and all the demerit chits we got had my name on them. So yeah, it definitely made things more personal, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It challenged you a lot.
Oh yeah.
Almost every day.
Definitely, yeah.
Probably every day.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, and for myself, being yeoman, I'm obviously a lot older. Both of us have, like I said, college experience, so I think that, you know, they saw that like you said, the compartment was in disarray. They gave it a chance for us, you know, collectively as a division to sort through some things, and it just wasn't happening. So they made the switch for RPOC, I think AROC as well, and then for myself, they said, can you come onto the yeoman team and just help organize things and just lend some maturity to the team that's already in place?
Yeah.
Both of us are already E3, so there was no promotion, you know, involved. But I think the RDCs realized if they didn't make this, you know, strong suggestion that we change up leadership, our division was headed probably in the wrong direction. Yeah, so both of us stepped in and immediately, I feel like, made an impact. And like I said, being a little older, I feel like but having good communication skills, which is key. Yeah. We really, you know, took the reins and at least had everybody respecting leadership and following orders. You know, it's kind of weird when you're ordering your peers, but that's what I think the challenge of leadership in boot camp is trying to prepare you for, to step up as a leader. So, like I said, as I mentioned, having good communication skills, I feel like, is really what helped make our jobs easier, and getting, you know, the rest of the division to buy in and, you know, snap to attention on some things, and at least, you know, power on towards, you know, the end of boot camp. And it ended up being a pretty positive experience. Both Scott and I were awarded as honor graduates, which is the top 3% of the division, followed on with an interview where you go in front of the LCPO, ship's leading chief petty officer. For us, it was a senior chief, and we had to go in front of him as well as 6 or 7 chiefs.
Board of chiefs, yeah.
They're looking us over head to toe to make sure our uniform is presentable, and then you're asked a series of questions, which we got a little bit of prep time, not much.
Yeah.
I think we got a day to prep for this, and
I think that was part of it too. You know,
yeah, I totally agree. Yeah,
wanted to see how we prepared.
Yeah,
under a time crunch, you know.
And at the end of that, both of us were named honor graduates, which will stay in your military career for the rest of your career. It's in your permanent record. So.
And he's being humble. He got the number one award at boot camp. So.
Yeah, Military Excellence Award. Like I said, did not expect any of that. I came to boot camp just trying to lay low and take every day, one day at a time, and just blend in but do my part. And one thing I will disclose is that you are not going to get any positive reinforcement from your RDCs. They are not going to tell you good job. They're not going to pat you on the back and say you're doing what you're supposed to do. Like they'll let you know when you mess up, but when you do something correct, it's like that's expected of you. So, you know, I actually consciously said to myself, damn, they're not telling us good job. I really don't know if I'm doing the right thing, but I brought it every single day, every rep, you know, every workout, every run, and I was asked the right questions, knew when to ask questions, knew when to follow, you know, and Scott set an excellent example. He has great leadership skills, and, you know, I just kind of fell in and tried to do what I could. Being older, give advice when it was asked, you know. Got a lot of experience, and I just tried to be there for my shipmates, and you know, like I said, it ended up being noticed, and that's when we got our honor graduate awards. They told us that, like, you know, you're always being watched, you're always being evaluated. Don't think that we weren't watching you every step of the way.
From day one.
And that's why we were there at the end of all this, standing there being awarded like that. So. You know, don't ever think that someone's not going to notice your hard work. You know, there was a lot of people I feel like that kind of took things personal and even said, like, why am I doing this? You know, I do a good job. It doesn't matter. Trust me, it matters, both as a division and as you as an individual. So definitely always bring it every single day.
Definitely.
Yeah, shifting gears. The physical side of boot camp, like I mentioned, we were both ex-college athletes, track and field. So the running and working out, like, what was your thoughts on that side of boot camp?
Yeah, I mean, I'm an SO candidate, so I came in ultra prepared. You know, swimming every day, running every day, working out every day. And I was expecting to not run a great PFA, you know, and lose some fitness, but I was honestly almost disappointed, you know what I mean, in the level of fitness that I had, you know, because I just felt so much more underprepared than I thought it would be, you know, like, I mean, my run time dropped like by over a minute, you know, like, so yeah, it was definitely frustrating, you know. And then you're only allowed 7 people out of the racks at night, so you're not supposed to work out at night, you know. And the workouts that we did have were just kind of silly a lot of times, you know.
Yeah, nothing but body weight.
Yeah.
We ran, I mean, you could say twice a week if you count the shuttle run. Only one sustained run a week. Which obviously for us being runners, that was mind-blowing.
12-minute run, too.
Yeah, that was hard, you know, to stay in shape. I feel like by the end of it, I felt like both of us were headed back towards, you know, our standards. But obviously for a lot of our shipmates, that final PFA was the biggest challenge of
Oh,
the
yeah.
whole boot camp experience.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one they talked about the most, being worried about the most, was that final PFA. And if I was going to give any advice to anybody coming into boot camp in 2021 or probably any time, is make sure your run is where it needs to be before you even walk out the door to come to boot camp.
Yeah, well beyond the minimum standard.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna fall to the minimum standard, if not worse. You know.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna be running at all.
Don't expect to come to boot camp and get in shape.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
If anything, you're going to come in and fall out of shape and scramble to get back to where you were. That's how I would look at that.
Yeah, and I don't think like my recruiter didn't make enough emphasis on that. You know.
Yeah. Mine either.
I knew I was going to get out of shape because I'm not going to be swimming every day, running every day, and working out every day. But the level at which we didn't work out was surprising me, you know.
Yeah, and I guess the push that'll be coming after us, they said, is going to make some changes to maybe divide recruits up based on their physical ability.
Like a tiered system, kind of.
Hey, I wish they would have done that for us. Instead, it was just everybody lumped together. No real individual attention. I didn't feel like if you were struggling, hey, you were going to struggle unless one of your shipmates stepped in to maybe lend you a hand. But
and throughout boot camp, like you said, we're college athletes. Like I had so many people coming to me for ab workouts or like just workouts to do at night and stuff. So if you can, like, do some research by yourself, just so you're more prepared, but also so you can help your other buddies out, that maybe haven't worked out every day or don't really have an idea of how to work out,
Absolutely. So in closing, obviously we just got through boot camp during the pandemic. I'm not really sure you could say that the pandemic's over. COVID's still around, and in my opinion, in addition to the PFA, the threat of catching COVID and being quarantined again was probably the biggest anxiety factor of boot camp. Luckily for our division, it only happened once. The Ring of Fire, took down 6, recruits. One person tested positive, so everybody in the racks besides his were gone. Just like that. The compartment was put on lockdown, and that was definitely an eye-opening experience because no one wanted to be there any longer than we had to be. And I spent 2 weeks less than you in boot camp because you got quarantined an extra 2 weeks. So what was that like? What happened?
Yeah, I mean, so we did our 2 weeks at Fort McCoy for quarantine, and on the 13th day, someone tested positive.
Oh my gosh.
So I did an extra 10 days. It was supposed to be 14, but something happened. There was only 10, and they sent us to a building on base.
On RTC.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we went down from Wisconsin down to RTC. I spent 10 days at RTC, and it was like an apocalypse, man. a big warehouse with big dividers up, it wasn't too bad, it was a good time, but definitely extending my time there and also halting my progress.
Yeah,
definitely sucked.
I don't know how I would have handled that. Luckily, I made it through in the minimum amount of days. But that definitely added, a weird element to our boot camp experience that you may or may not have to deal with when you go to boot camp. So hopefully things improve. The whole Ring of Fire thing, I don't necessarily agree with that. I wish they could have done rapid testing to, maybe just quarantine the person that actually had COVID. But that's just how they're handling it. So if you're going in this next push or maybe the one after, be prepared. That is going to be a dark cloud hanging over your head while you're at boot camp.
And you're gonna get sick. It may not be COVID, but
everyone's gonna get a cough.
Yeah, you're around with 60 dudes. You're gonna get sick.
It's inevitable. We all got sick. I got really sick before the second PFA, the RDC assessment one. still ran a really good time, but that sucked, you
Yeah.
know, because no one wants to go to medical, because if you go to medical, they're going to test you for COVID.
100%.
Like I said, even if you're asymptomatic, you know, that's
you could develop symptoms, and then they're gonna send you to quarantine anyways. Yeah,
you're getting ring of fire and asthma. So yeah, that's good luck. Anything else you want to add to our boot camp experience?
Yeah, just try to be kind to each other. You know, I think that was one thing that was a big problem before new leadership started coming through.
Yep.
And you know, I was not anywhere close to being a perfect leader, but I feel like I tried to kind of instill that in people. You know, like with communicating, it doesn't take screaming at someone to get the point across. You know,
yes,
like you have to draw that level of respect from someone, and to do that, you don't have to yell at them. You just have to give them clear and concise instructions. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, be kind to each other. Like he said, show up every day. There were a lot of times as an RPOC where I'd be getting yelled at day after day after day without any semblance of a good job, you know. And I had to kind of call like an audible in certain times, you know. But yeah, just show up every day, you know. Keep working hard, being kind to each other, and you'll make it through.
Yep.
Yeah.
The better you guys gel as a cohesive division, the easier it's going to be on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that I think we messed up on, and it was too late to correct, and maybe it was impossible to correct, was the
what the shit? My fucking bad.
We'll be editing this part out.
Sorry, man.
Two jackass seals just walked into the room. All right, roll that back. One thing that I feel like we did not do as a division, and it haunted us to the very last day, the very last minutes of being a division in boot camp, was, I'd say, like the bottom rung of our division, the few people that just would not buy in and would not work together as a team, constantly fighting and criticizing and, you know, bullying, you know, the people that weren't coming along as quickly as maybe some of the others. You know, we didn't stamp that out as leadership because we always tried to keep that positive communication going.
Yeah.
And it was hard to really be hard. It was hard to be hard on some of these other people that, like I said, we're down towards the bottom, being negative all the time. So, in my opinion, we probably should have, like, if we couldn't get them to buy in, we should have made them pack it and get the hell out of the way, and not tolerated some of it, because there was definitely a toxic element that just kind of hung on towards, you know, throughout the end of boot camp.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
But thanks for checking out the video. Good luck in boot camp, and any questions, go ahead and pop it into the comments. Like I said, this is a follow-on to a boot camp video I did before I even left, so definitely learned a lot. Interesting to see what I got right and totally whiffed on as far as my preparation, but hey, keep fighting. Don't be comfortable with being, you know, comfortable, and embrace it, and you'll get through it. All right. Thanks, y'all.
Speed take chance.